Hola, aquí estamos. My name is Shellie Coast, back at it again with another talking head video. Today, I am going to be talking about the topic of being alone slash going through something like a solitude journey, which a lot of people go through when they're feeling burnt out or stressed or spiraling. In my case, I knew that I needed change in my life, and so that's what we're going to talk about. But I realized one day that nobody teaches you how to be alone, right? You have to learn that for yourself in a way that nobody can teach you. Nobody can tell you how to cope. Nobody can tell you what's going to work to make you feel better. No one's going to be able to tell you what exactly is going to work for you, right? You have to find that for yourself. You have to try different things and experiment what works for you, right? Let's try to prop this up. I liked having my camera a little to the left. I was editing the other one today, and I put all like my speech on the side, which I liked. You just put, all the text, like all the captions and the all that stuff. Sorry, I'm just distracted. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna talk about just like a solitude journey, like learning how to be alone and all that stuff. I began my solitude journey in like fall of 2022. In June, I quit my full-time, like high-paying job, being a front office manager, to work on a cruise ship as a housekeeper. So I took a pretty significant pay loss, but at that time in my life, I had just got that promotion. I had done that position for probably like a month, and I was stressed out. I was super stressed out. Like the other managers above me started treating me very differently, like expecting a lot from me, and if I'd ask questions, they started giving me attitude. Like it was really strange, but it was the same treatment that the person who was in my spot before me was receiving. So I was like, dang, like this is just weird, So I quit. I gave him like 1 week notice because I was feeling salty as well. I was like, why are you guys being so rude to me? And then at that time I was going through a lot of stuff, just personally, like within like my family life. I'm not going to get into that at all. And I just felt very overwhelmed. I felt like nobody understood where I was coming from. I felt like nobody could understand what I felt. And I felt very lonely. So I was like, let me just go be lonely somewhere else. And I applied to work on a cruise line, and I got the job, and they were like, can you start basically in 2 weeks? And I was like, you know what? Yes. Like I was so desperate to get out of Los Angeles. I feel like I don't look cute right now. This is what we have to deal with as women, right? Yeah, so I worked on the cruise line for like not that long, probably like 2 or 3 months, and then I went home to my studio apartment, which I got right before I started the cruise line. And so I was just going through a lot of changes. And I came from living with roommates. I had like 3 roommates. It was co-ed living. So they, pair you with, random people, literally. It was like a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and it was a great time. It really was. But I wasn't ready to live by myself all the way, obviously, at that point, and so that's what I chose. And then from there, I got my studio apartment. So we're caught up. It's fall. I'm just getting to my studio apartment and like really experiencing living by myself. And I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. I FaceTimed with my ex for like the whole first week, every night. Like, they were nice enough to FaceTime with me. We weren't even together, I was scared. I hated being by myself like that. Up until that point, I was very codependent on my relationships. I either live with my best friend or live with my boyfriend or I live with roommates. This is my first time building by myself. I was able to save up enough money to like live, just live at home, you know, unemployed for October, November, December. So I was super blessed to be able to save up. I saved up money from the cruise line, and I was super blessed enough to like, you know, figure that out, because I know a lot of people can't just like stop working and, you know, be at home for 3 months. You know, it's hard to save up. I know all of this. And then, yeah, and during that time I slept a lot. I had a lot of sleep to catch up on at that point. And then, sorry, the dog I'm watching is like upset because I have her in the house. She wants to be out here. But I slept a lot. I cried a lot because I wasn't like allowed to cry. And I had a lot of tears pent up. I had a lot of sadness pent up for a lot of reasons. And I just let myself cry a lot. I remember one time I cried so hard, my eyelids were like, I want to say like triple their size. Like they were so swollen. I was terrified, and it just, went down overnight. Cold compress, warm compress, cold compress. You switch back and forth. You're fine. Take an ibuprofen. But it was good to get that out, and I feel like it literally got out of my body. Like I feel like my swelling in my face, my body went down a lot, things like that. And then January, February, I got a server job working at a restaurant. That was cute. Like I was dressing really cute, making tips and stuff. But overall, I felt there was like a very uncomfortable vibe. Like I didn't really want to do that anymore, so I quit. Luckily, saved up enough to stay home March, April, May, and I did 75 hard. So that was like the beginning of my solitude journey. Like I just like rested and cried and created. And then I did 75 hard in the next spring. And that was like really crazy because that was when I was on social media filming all the time. Like I filmed every single day for 75 hard. I filmed all my workouts, like the food I was eating, all kinds of stuff, like, and then I talk about rebuilding, like rebranding. I deleted so much of my stuff, you guys. In the last talking episode, I talked about self-trust, right? So even when I was doing 75 hard, I was like hesitating, like, should I be filming this? Should I be posting this? Like it felt misaligned. It felt good, but wrong / just like it wasn't the content just didn't feel like who I wanted to put out like into the world, and it's true, like I wasn't ready at that time, which is crazy. I ended up deleting all that content. Like I had 2 years worth of content I deleted. I talk about this, and I have some notes written down about, like, I'll talk about it in a minute, but just like rebranding and starting over, and like, almost like when you make a sim character or a character on a video game, right? You pick out their clothes, their hair, their skin color, their nails, their makeup, their shoes, right? You edit the avatar. So I spent all this time alone editing my avatar. So I didn't hear anybody else's voices. I wasn't in contact with people regularly, which I don't necessarily recommend. I'm just here to talk about what I've gone through. God will send you people when you need them. That's just it. I had periods in my solitude journey where I did speak to somebody on a pretty consistent basis, on and off, and then now we don't talk anymore. So, it's just like life will guide you by, and bring people into your life, take them out, bring them in, you know what I mean, and meet new people, at least for me. But I felt such a strong pull to being alone for some reason or another. That was for sure, and I led with that, you know. It was like, this being alone just feels right, you know. Even though I'll hear people say like, oh, don't, you know, be alone, but, you know, and I don't recommend it for a lot of people, because it's not the right thing for a lot of people. Like, if you want people in your life, you need people in your life, then you don't need to be alone, you know. You'll know if you need to go through something like that. Your spirit will tell you, your soul will tell you, you'll feel it, you know. I don't know. But okay, so yeah, I did 75 hard, and then it was crazy because I finished like at the beginning of May, and then I got a job like a week after that. Like, I started like a week after that. It was crazy. And I started working at this furniture spot, and I ended up being there for 3 years because it was exactly what I needed. I came from a history of very fast pace. You know, one of my first jobs was working at Starbucks, and like when we would get through rushes, like you have to move very fast as you can, and they would even tell us like faster. And then from there I went into hospitality, working at the hotel, which is like, there's downtime for sure, but when it gets busy, and you know, there's like a bunch of tasks and a bunch of requests, and I learned how to work overnight, so there was a lot of like bookkeeping I had to learn. That was very difficult for sure. So it was like stressful, you know. And so getting this furniture job, I was selling furniture and like kind of just managing a showroom. It was wonderful because we got so much time to ourselves. Like, we could just sit on the couches all day and like do homework. Like, my manager even said, he was like, yeah, bring a book, you know, there's a lot of downtime, so are you okay with that? I was like, yeah. In my head I'm like jumping for joy, like yes, you know. And we would sometimes get like 1 customer a day, 2 customers a day. On the weekends we'll get like anywhere from 10 customers to like 20. 30 is like pushing it. Like 20 is probably like the max we would probably see. And that's rookie numbers for where I was doing, like working in a hotel where there was like, the boutique hotel I worked at, there was like 100 rooms, and then the luxury 5-star, 4th most expensive hotel I worked at, you know, high stress, you know, because you have to be like on 10s, wearing the suit, and, you know, looking presentable, hair done, makeup done, everything did. You know, lots of rooms, lots of guests, checking in, checking out, handling luggage, mail, packages. Like, it was a lot of work. And so going from that to the furniture job was like such a blessing. You know, it was perfect pace for my healing journey. You know, there were days where I didn't have to talk to anybody, and it was just beautiful. You know, going from talking all day, literally talking all day to people, just answering phone calls, talking, to answering questions, de-escalating, to crickets. And we would have like 30 minutes. We would like clock in at 10:30, and the store didn't open till 11, so I had like 30 minutes to like set up the store, just basically turn the lights on. And it was so nice. So I would come like 30 minutes before work, like at 10, and like have breakfast, watch a little show, I would like even like put some music on, do a little dance like in the little columns, a little freestyle. You know, I was slowly rebuilding myself from the ground up. Like, I just felt so like hopeless, to be honest. I felt so low, burnt out. I felt so like, what's the point? You know, I had no point. I had no like vision at that point, other than just like doing the solitude journey and trying to become an artist in some way. And even then I was like, I don't even know what kind of artist I am. I don't even know. I wasn't even doing mosaics yet. I had no idea I was even going to do mosaics at all at that point. I was still like painting with acrylics, which I liked, but I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't like it, you know? I tried watercolors. I was like, everything just felt like, I bought like water style markers for my windows to like draw my windows, and that was like fun for like a second, and then I was like, you know. I started learning logo design. The restaurant I worked at, I redid their logo for them, and they ended up using it, putting it up on the bill, like the marquee, the sign. And that was like lit. That was so lit. And to this day, like, I do kind of want to do that for people, because I do like minimalist design. Like I would totally be down to do that for like other brands. That was like actually pretty hype. Like I'll probably do that, a lot more of that in the future. I've kind of avoided doing that because like of imposter syndrome. I just feel like I'm not good enough. Like I don't have like a design degree or anything. Like I'm all self-taught on that, and you know, it's just me, my own self-doubt, right? We talked about this in the last talking episode. Self-trust, right? I have to continue trusting my capabilities. I continue trusting that I'm good enough. I continue trusting that God is going to bring the businesses that would be interested in my designs to me, right? Now, I'm lecturing myself right now as I'm talking, okay? This is why I wanted to do these types of videos, because the more we talk, the more we let out our psyche, the more we let out our subconscious, and we can hear our inner dialogue much more clearly by just speaking out loud. That's why I'm such a huge fan of talk therapy. I tried a new eyeliner shape today, guys. What do we think? I usually angle it like straight, so my eye goes like this, but now it's like this, which is interesting. Anyway, sorry, squirrel. What was I saying? But yeah. I forgot what I was saying. Okay, let's move on. I started over a lot. Like I rebranded, I think like over 5 times. Like I was like, oh, this is who I'm popping out as, you know. I didn't want to go by my biological, like, legal name. You know, many artists, if not all, almost all artists go by an artist name, stage name, right? And so during my time, you know, alone, I was like, what is my stage name gonna be? Didn't know, had no idea. Especially when I shaved my head, I was like, okay, now I have to be somebody completely, you know what I mean? Now I'm like, I don't even know who this is. But I knew that I didn't want to share content while my head was shaved. I wanted that to be just for me. Like I wanted to, like I'll totally shave my head again in the future, like when I'm probably like, I don't know, maybe I will. I feel like I will. I don't know, maybe I will. I don't know, my hair is such a huge part of me. I missed it so much. When I shaved it, I just missed it so much. But when I shaved my head, I started going by a different name, because the name that I was going by at that time didn't feel, like it felt too girly, you know? And I didn't like seeing the confusion on people's faces when I said a girly name, and my outfit and my look didn't match my girly name. So I gave myself a co-ed name. So when I said that name, people literally had no idea what I was, you know. I'm sure, I don't know, you know. I don't know if they knew if I was a boy or a girl. And I like that, you know. When it was a girly name, it's like, oh, it's obviously a girl. But when it was like a Could be a boy, could be a girl name, co-ed name. Like, people didn't have so much confusion on their face. They're just like, oh, okay, there's something. They're either a boy or a girl. And then when I spoke, I think it was more obvious what I was, but yeah, so if you go through something like this, don't be afraid to rebrand. You know, create your artist name, create your artist persona, create characteristics that you look up to, right? I want to be like me. I want to grow into somebody who is very generous, who does what she says she's gonna do. If not, I don't say it. Like, I don't say I'm gonna do something if I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. I try my best, you know. Sometimes, like, we put our plans out into the universe and God laughs, right? You know, we think we're planning things, and that's like a saying, right? God laughs, because, like, at the end of the day, God is in charge. You know, God can stop things from happening. God can create things from thin air, you know, create opportunities out of thin air, you know. And so I just try to be as good as possible. I try to be, you know, I look up to Michael Jackson. I don't idolize, you know, God is God for me, you know, for sure. But I look up to the fact that he was bold in the way he expressed his faith. Like, he said he tries to walk like Jesus Christ did. He tries to, you know, emulate that type of behavior. He tries to lead with goodness, you know, never violence, ever, ever, ever. And I love that he was so bold about speaking up against violence against children, never, ever hit a child, ever, ever, you know. And I want to do things like that similarly. I want to use my voice to, you know, I need to start getting more comfortable using my voice, talking about topics that are very important to me, and, you know, I feel may make a difference in some way or another. And in order to do that, I had to get comfortable being alone. If I wasn't comfortable being alone with myself, how can anybody else be comfortable with me? I mean, I don't really have that problem. Like, when people start to get to know me, they want to be in my life. They want to be around me, you know. I did meet somebody at the furniture job that wanted to be my friend outside of work, which I was very grateful for and thankful for, and I appreciated her while she was working there with me. But I didn't see us being good friends on the outside, you know. And especially because I was going through a lot at that point in my time. Like, I wasn't trying to be friends with anybody, not just her, you know, anybody. Like, I just couldn't at that time. Now I feel so much more stabilized because I'm growing the trust within myself. Like, at this point in time, I finally feel like I can go anywhere and trust that I can lean on God to give me the guidance that I need to either get myself out of a sticky situation or, you know, stumble across a new opportunity or enjoy a new museum, take myself to a new restaurant. You know, I feel so much more comfortable and confident just in my own presence. That's what I was seeking. That's what I was longing for, you know? And then I'll leave you guys off on 3 questions. You can journal about these if you'd like, which I definitely recommend. It's a good way to, if you don't want to write on the journal, just use a voice note on your phone and just talk it out, you know. It's gonna feel weird at first, but either journal or talk it out loud. That's what I recommend. First question. Thank you. If you had an entire 3-day weekend alone to yourself, how would you spend it? Okay. No, you can't bring your friends with you. You can't bring your boyfriend. Can't bring your girlfriend. Can't bring your kids. Just you. What would you do? Anything you want. Anything you want. Anything you want. What would you do? Okay? Second question. Are you waiting for somebody to make your life exciting? Are you waiting for somebody else to make your life exciting? Third question. What kind of anxious or fearful thoughts come up when you think about being alone? When you think about spending time alone? What thoughts come up? Are they fearful? Are they anxious? Are they scared? Are they excited? Are they happy? Are they relieved to be spending time alone? Like, what thoughts come up? You know, write those down, talk about them, and investigate. Like, why do I feel scared to be alone? Why do I feel so excited to be alone? You know, this is how we get to know ourselves more, right? But it's getting dark, so I should probably wrap. Oh, getting dark, so I should probably wrap this up. Thank you so much for. Can you see myself over here? I'm obsessed with this little balcony. I want a balcony with a view. It's cute. I want a balcony where I can see the sunset every day. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Shellie Coast. Come back. We're going to be talking about a lot more things. In the last episode, we spoke about self-confidence, self-trust. This time we talked about gaining comfortability, being alone, learning how to be alone for ourselves. And to anyone who is watching this video, I'd like to say a prayer over you. To anyone who is watching this video, God, put it in my mind, put it on my voice to say the right thing for the right people that are watching. I pray that you protect anybody who is watching. I pray that you bring blessings and positive miracles into their life. I pray that you bring healing into their life. I pray that you bring joy, prosperity, and abundance into their life. Anybody who is watching, I ask that they are able to lift themselves up into a spirit of happiness, positivity, and joy. And I ask that you place a golden veil of protection over anybody who is watching. In God's name we pray, amen. Thank you. My name is Shellie Coast. I'm saying love your way.